Hey guys, recently I made this white soda bread because I had previously made that butter you can see there at home, and a byproduct of homemade butter is buttermilk, so to use that up I made the bread. Making butter at home is so easy, and sometimes it's important because it's a byproduct of over whipping cream, so I'll show you how to make that later. So you start off by bringing your buttermilk to room temperature. You can see there that I've got 400 milliliters of it. Now this is a lot thinner than buttermilk you'll buy in the supermarket, so in order to kind of encourage it to thicken, I'm going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. And just mix that in and allow it to come to room temperature. Then in a big mixing bowl, you mix your dry ingredients, starting off with 450 grams of strong bread flour or plain flour, followed by a level teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda and a level teaspoon of salt. Then, instead of sifting all the dry ingredients together to incorporate them, I'm just going to whisk them up with a whisk. If you want to sift them instead, go ahead, but it takes ages. Once that's all done, go back to your buttermilk with vinegar and give it another mix. It should have thickened slightly, but the main thing is that it's now a little bit more acidic, and it's the acid that reacts with the bicarbonate of soda, which is the rising agent in this bread. So once the buttermilk has come to room temperature, you go back to your dry ingredients and you make a well in the center to pour the buttermilk into. Then you take your hand and hold it in a really rigid claw shape to mix all the ingredients together. Remember, this is traditional Irish soda bread, so it dates back to a time before freestanding mixers and dough hooks and all that. So this is the traditional way of doing it. Remember as well that this is classed as a quick bread because it doesn't need proving, it's got no yeast that needs expanding or anything like that, so you don't need to work it too hard. You just need to bring all the ingredients together to form a dough. Then you lightly flour your work surface and turn your dough out onto it. Now if you want to, you can shape this and bake it free form, but I'm going to bake it in a tin because it's a little easier for cutting and sandwiches and all that. Now if you've seen me use one of these silicone tins before, you know that like the bread expands really weirdly, so I'm going to use 2 of them. If you have a metal one, use that, but either way, grease the inside of the tin with a little bit of oil and rub it on all the sides. Then just shape the dough so that it's got a nice round domed shape. Before you then lift it into your tin and then score it with a knife. Then put it into a hot oven at 230 degrees Celsius and then immediately turn it down to 200. Then bake at 200 for 45 minutes until you remove the loaf from the tin and put back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes. You then need to take it out of the oven and check to see if it's done. You do this by turning the bread upside down and tapping on the bottom to see if you hear a hollow sound. If you hear this hollow sound, then the bread is done. Then just allow it to cool on a wire rack before you tuck in. This bread had such a crunchy, delicious crust if you just listen. I really don't think you can buy that in the supermarket, and it's so easy to make, you might as well give it a try. Remember as well that this bread dates back to a time in Irish history before fridges and freezers, when every scrap of food had to be preserved or used. If you had cream, you'd preserve it by making butter, and you'd use the byproduct of that, the buttermilk, to make this bread. These are all skills that I feel shouldn't be forgotten, even though it's just as easy to go buy things in the supermarket. So that's it. If you like this recipe, please subscribe to my channel below and find me on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and for the full recipe go to my blog at www.rookiecook.org.